Oh, yeah, a little bit of Al Stewart. You're the cat. I mean, I love the sax solo in there. I mean, it grabs you. The riffs are really cool as well. But yeah, welcome everybody. So good to see everyone. Let me get all the buttons pushed and situated, as they would say. But what a phenomenal Al Stewart. Got to see him, and he was, he was a troubadour. For those of you who remember the man, and I hope you remember him. And if you have never heard about him, go check it out for sure. So, hey, what's up, everybody? So good to see you. Let me hit that button and go over here and hit that button. Yeah, now all the buttons, we live in a button reality, You ever heard this say, well, let's button this up? Yeah. So welcome, Soul Tribe. Speak in favor over all of us. May joy inundate your fiber of your being. May your atoms vibrate to joy, and may you elevate yourself into a higher state. And even an inch is higher than you were, right? So BOSTO, be of service to others because they'll be of service to you. And folks, we are a prospering. So, hey, moderator, what's up? Gaia, Nina the Mystic, I seen Big Al. I think you're heading over to Miss Trina's house. Good to see you. Lost in Space, Grandpa Brian, how are you doing, brother? Much love to you. Emperor Rex, hello. Project Skyfall, good to see you. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Marie, good to see you as well. I think I saw Martin and Heidi. Much love, Gaia and Paul. I know David Castle with Rufus is listening. So Elderberry, what's up? Good to see you, Truth Seeker, as well. Susie Q, much love to you. Hey, Sherry, good to see you as well. Loretta, just listening to the Beatles. Sweet Loretta thought she was it. Yep. Do. Hello, Suzanne. How are you doing, my love? Good to see you. Jules, hello. Martin and Heidi, I received those hugs, and me and my Sky Pilot we'll send out loves right back at you. So the world may see down, but don't let it put you frown. Put it upside down, and you'll turn that frown all around. There you go. So big hug. Hey, learn to be a child again. Learn to have the expressions of spontaneity. We did it as kids. When did we suddenly become so sophisticated? That's all I got to say. Hey, Ruth Ann, good to see you. Hello, Danny. Tonight, artistfirst.com, 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. my time here in the Mountain West. Steiger Perspective. The theme tonight is we know we are being conned. So check it out for sure. I've got this calendar I bought. You are a badass. So sayings for every day of the week. I love today's, and I'll let everyone see. Because you see, this is how I feel about things in the spirit realm. I am a badass. And by the way, so are you. You're really a badass spiritually. I mean, it's that old thing. You are a powerful MF. You know what I'm talking about? And put whatever MF you want MF to stand for. Mighty friend. I don't know, But today's saying is meet each new challenge with a big old can of get the fuck out of my way, or I'm going to run your ass over. So that is the saying for today. And literally, that's what it says. Get the fuck out of my way. So if you got an obstacle standing before you, tell it to get the fuck out of the way. Yeah, we're dropping the F-bombs right and left, but in this type of vernacular, it's very well appropriate, isn't it? So, you're a badass. You just got to remember that and wear it proud, wear it loud. That's what I say. Okay, that's just it. We can't help it. We're just born badasses, and it takes, decades for them to bring you to the point where you think you're a weak, lean, No, don't mess with Mr. Natural. That's all I got to say, because you won't like the outcome. So there we are. Folks, you got to remember, it's attitude, baby. You know, I mean, if you go into a battle thinking that your ass is already defeated, I can assure you the outcome is most likely you're going to lose. You go into it knowing that you've been effed over, you know, cost you more than money itself. We're talking about freaking years of your life. You go into that type of situation thinking that you're somehow this underway person who, oh, could I please pass your way? Baby, you're coming in and you're kicking ass and you ain't even taking names. All right, someone needed to hear that. And I am not insane. My mother had me tested. Thank you, Dr. Sheldon Cooper. Yeah. So, angel for today is Sila. Sila. Angel 45. This is the angel of motivation and willfulness. This is the patron of the four elements: fire, water, air, and earth. How there's a synchronicity that goes on in this group. Holy cow, Batman. Deus motor unum. God the mover. Brings health to both humans and animals. Teaches how to extol the virtues of consciousness. Yeah, the angel be talking to us. And by the way, I'm going to get into this right after I read this. I had a remarkable experience. Helps modest people to grow and succeed. Well, there you go. Allows our life forces to regain its balance by increasing our vital energy, restores physical strength. Remember, folks, there is an elixir in our blood. It's in us. Some of us have more than others, but it's very, very powerful. It's what really makes us different than the animal kingdom. We are of the animal kingdom, but what's in us is what makes the difference. Awaken what is asleep, stimulates growth, restarts events, fills us with hope and enthusiasm, and bestows us with energy and willpower to accomplish difficult tasks. Symbol of success and strength. Helps to jumpstart a situation or venture that has become stagnant. Fills us with the energy to discover the true law of spirituality. Shows how to restore balance and harmony in our lives. Provides with vigilance and focus. Helps to regain lost concentration. Protects from eternal attacks, lofty, arrogant, and abusive people, liberates us from any lack of control, restores hope to deprived and demented people. If there's anyone, I guess, that's really going to need hope, would be that group of people, no doubt. Yeah. Cures the lack of moral and selfish and egocentric behavior. I love these angels are like the coolest thing ever. That's all I got to say. I got to turn this thing off because I left it vibrating. Who is doing this in the middle of my show? Geez. Don't be texting me, man. I mean, what the heck? Well, that's all I got to say. Maybe they didn't realize what the time was because, I turned it on buzz, and usually I put it where the buzz doesn't buzz, but the buzz buzzed, and so that was buzzing. Buzz. Did you try that last night? Got to tell you, strange things are afoot. And they're only strange because they're new experiences. So I have this book. I got it in PDF. when I started reading it, along with what we're reading right now, I was really taken aback by the forthrightness of the author. Straightforward, no BS, no, missing pieces. It's all laid out there. Nothing for you to really kind of guess because they didn't tell you. And let me just show you. This is really a very cool book. I bought it myself, and actually, when you read this, and I was reading it late, early this morning, let's just say, it's the invocation is really powerful. It really, well, they kind of, it's the old expression, money talks, bullshit walks, right? And you actually, and I'm going to show you this because I actually bought this, and it motivated me. And I thought, well, if it motivated me, maybe it might help motivate you. I mean, it's all possible, right? So this is the book. Again, I have it in PDF, but once I read it myself, I said, no, I got to buy this. I mean, this is one that electronic files are great, but I don't like being in front of the screen all the time. I like the sensation and the enjoyment of reading on the printed word, I guess you would say, right? So this book is Magick That Works. It's the practical training for the children of light. Navina Shadrach talks about his background. And then there is also Frances Harrison. She practiced the Golden Dawn magic for 24 years before leaving that tradition behind to embrace a more ancient roots in the Western mystery tradition. She is also an initiate of the Benar and a devotee of the goddess for close to nearly 30 years. She is a founding member of the Magic Society of the White Flame, and she is also a senior editor at Ishtar Publishing. Boy, have I bought a lot of their books. This is a book that is, again, it's a layman's teaching book. It's fabulous. I am excited for what I have read because of the foundation that it lays right up in the front. And it really kind of describes what magic really is. Again, I have actually gotten the pronunciation of Arabic and Hebraic words. It's interesting. I have like 1% Jew in me. So you would think that it may be natural, but I guess the wandering Jew is the one I became. Anyway, she says, if you want to give Magick That Works to friend and covet these books are available. Again, if you want to buy yourself a copy at normally where you would buy books, you actually can win free books. Just write to them and let them know how you have grown, how magic has become more of an activator in your life. I think it goes hand in hand with the activating of these exercises of the third eye. There seems to be how shall we say, a synchronicity, a cohesion of thoughts here. And this is a book that, again, I'll bring it out. I like how the authors here, both Shadrach and Harrison, bring this out. They said the magic of light is rooted in union between the heart and the mind, nature with spirit, and the pursuit of the Gnostic experience of the divine reality. And by the way, this is written in the female tense. I love it. As it should have been. All the sacred books should, if they got male deities, those are imposters. But anyway, I continue. Someone's going to go, oh, you're going to go, Sublime in its spiritual conception and pursuits of human development, yet it is practical within an arsenal of earthly spells for dealing with the day-to-day problems. It is best described as the spiritual art and science of a light being dwelling in the light of all lights. Wow. We got to say that again. I mean, so this is what the magic of light is. The spiritual art and science of a light being, moi, dwelling in the light of all lights. It is applicable for spiritual or mundane matters, elaborate ceremonies of initiation or nature celebrations. The path of love or the development of personal power for helping oneself and assisting humanity and nature. The secrets of the tradition you are about to explore in this book were previously the pursuit only of those willing to travel and seek initiation in the exotic lands of the Orient. Western history is riddled with tales of the few masters who made pilgrimage to North Africa, Turkey, and the Middle East, seeking the lost pearls of those masters, whose lasting legacy continued to tantalize them. Times are changing, and with this book, this amazing corpus of knowledge has become more accessible to all sincere seekers. Our world is facing many crises of our own making. There is a need to look beyond the barriers of language, race, and religion to rescue humanity from its descent into a clash of civilizations and its disconnection from spirit and nature. Sacred magic provides potent tools that each one of us can use to reconnect with the eternal currents of light and to create our small piece of paradise in this world. Magic is a path of wisdom and being. Sacred magic emphasizes the power of spirit in our world and the essentially of love as a cosmic force that not only connects us as human beings, but also with other living and celestial agents. Truly, it is a path of peace, knowledge, and love. Wow. Again, this is magic that works. We're going to get into this next week, and as we do in much of these books, we'll kind of come back and forth. I love how she, both the authors write in their dedication, with the greatest eternal love to those amazing magical women. You got to love it. I think Nineveh just nailed it. So here is, and when you speak this out, and particularly, I think that, you now that you're practicing, I started practicing, and I tell you, it's true. Stuff be opening. That's all I got to tell you. Stuff be opening, man. I'll read this to everyone, and then you can make a decision for yourself. O ancient masters of holy magic, who reside in the secret mountain of mysteries, I am, and I put my name, you can put your name if you so desire, a seeker of the secrets and knowledge of the wise. I call upon you to bring me closer to your presence and aid me with the company of those ancient beings who oversee the art of the Magi. Hear me by the name of your queen, whom you serve and adore. I call upon you, O ancient masters of magic, to hear my call this hour and watch over me and aid me with your power and guidance. Listen to me, ye invisible radiant ones, known by many names among the ancients, ye who are magical from birth and of flame that doesn't burn. I call upon you, servants of the secret and mighty name that has been kept veiled by the sages of old. Empower this book with a ray of magic from your world, so that by reading it, it shall awaken in my sphere a ray of that ancient current that has its place at the beginning of time, and keep me steady on the path of magic. Listen to me, O ancient servants of the magic of light, and come to me now and empower this book without delay. Let it be a living connection between me and the ancient masters of sacred magic. Watch, guide, and aid me, for I am a servant of divine light, and it is this light that you serve and revere. Good stuff, folks. And real quickly, the common senseness of the writing of these two, obviously masters of the discipline of magic. They are truly maguses, no doubt about it. It gets into every aspect. And one of the things that I was taken aback quite literally was the fact that they're saying if you're lazy, you can't follow through on anything that you commit yourself to do, if you've got a bad diet, and, you know, they just come out and flat tell you your magic's going to be hampered. You know, if you don't give respect to the craft will not give respect to you. Now, I don't know where you can go to hear that kind of straight talk. And real quickly, I want to get into this real quickly. It's good. Again, I got the PDF. If you want the book, buy it. It's well worth it. Magic is not what we do. It is who we are. For thousands of years, our way of life has existed all over the world, and it continues to exist, even in this modern age of high-tech wizardry and industrialization. For the various reasons, over the last few hundred years, magic lost its glamour and became limited to fringe seekers of wisdom. Things are changing, and magic is slowly becoming more mainstream again and is being brought to public awareness through the modern media. This is a deep hunger for the tales of wizards of old to be true. Magicians and wizards still exist to this day, but they don't wear telling jewelry or walk around publicly in robes. They continue to practice the ancient ways silently, experiencing the miracles of that our ancestors spoke about. The reason magic continues to exist is because it is real and it works. It is time that you experience this for yourself. A few hundred years ago, possession of a book like this would have been grounds for burning at the stake. Now, occult and magic books fill the shelves of many mainstream bookstores. As abundant as the books on modern magic are, there are still few magicians. In time, this could also change, but that depends on whether or not people such as yourself can have valid experiences that convince you to embrace magic as a way of life. If you're starting to experience some of the exercises of the third eye, this goes hand in hand. I love the tea. For that to happen, we need to return to the original foundation of magic as a real objective art rather than a form of ritual psychology and mind power. The next step should be for magicians to use their magic to benefit the world around them and to help their community with their knowledge. It's not about self here. Hell, the elder once said, "If I am not for myself, then who will be for me? And if I am only for myself, then what am I? And if not now, when?" What the future holds for magic remains a mystery, but we can try to secure it by giving you magic that works, that is safe, and it is real. We can give you magic that not only benefits you spiritually, emotionally, and physically, but also allows you to reach out to those around you and make a difference in your world. This book will challenge you and push you into new frontiers, but throughout its pages, it's practical magic that can change your life. And if you wish, make the world a better place. I think we need a lot of magicians. I think we need a lot of witches, a lot of wizards, a lot of new priestess. It's time to start elevating the feminine, the divine feminine, not in one that is being lusted after or, how shall we say, degraded, but elevated to the elegance of what it really is, creation. Well, there you go. The techniques and rituals in this book will remain only words on paper until you put them into practice. Magicians don't pick up a spell book and abracadabra, the laws of physics are suspended. They practice and live their magic year after year. As the theoretical study of religion rarely produces a profound religious experience, the theoretical study of magic rarely produces a real magic experience. You have to practice magic to truly be a magician. If you are new to magic, you may wonder what keeps us committed to this way of life. This differs from person to person, since magicians are extremely individualistic in nature. However, we will share with you our own resources. We have continued to practice magic over the years because it remains one of the most important spiritual disciplines available to humankind today. It provides us first and foremost with the tools to experience on a personal level many spiritual wonders, mystical experiences, illumination, personal awakening, spiritual encounters, and much more. The experience of the prophets and sages of the past come to life in our own day-to-day events. Magic can also provide us with tools that allow us to live in harmony with the spirit of nature, tools with which we can transcend barriers of differences and prejudices, and with which we can mature on numerous levels. It gives us a system that helps us to manage many of the obstacles and issues in our material existence, from finding the right partner to healing. We practice it because we love it, and it gives us joy that is hard to describe. Magic is the path of wisdom, and it is the path of love. Magic is an advanced spiritual path that can bring about personal illumination, and in that is a tremendous abundance of living power. In the past, if you wanted to learn magic, you would seek out a magus. You would apprentice under this magician for a number of years and learn your craft. This is still the preferred way. People join magical orders, covens, or guilds and learn magic within an established community under the tutelage of teachers. And here's something I want to say real quick. If there is a coven, if there is an order, let me know. And I can alert other people in different parts of the world. I won't broadcast it, but those who are seeking, this is a way for us to start becoming connected locally. We're all connected here already. There's a spiritual bond that has been woven here, and it's not easily broken. But I have been given this in my spirit. We need to reach out to those in our local area. I live here in the Denver area. I am sure that there are many such gatherings. Write to me, let me know. Love to come, and if invited, come by and say hi. But I think that this is a way that it can aid in all of our individual development, because so many of us live in isolation. I mean, I don't go out there into the local grocery store and say, hey, would you like to learn about Lilith? No. But I'm putting that out there, and love to get to know the covens, the guilds, the orders. Yeah, there's some very excellent people here that could add to that. All right, let's continue. Magicians band together in groups formed around local temples, and some tend to move around in search for the perfect group, which is indicating that there's probably a lot more than what we realize. We just have to reach out to them and let them know that we're interested in them. They'll become interested in us. Personal disappointment bundled together with fear of group involvement have caused a recent trend toward a more solo path. This would be fine if we lived in cities with thousands of magicians and lots of social support. We don't. This is not the case, and this path is lonely as it is, without our isolating ourselves from others on it. We need magical temples even more now than we did in the recent past. The world is seeing the rise of religious zealots who would like to push us back into the dark ages. Magical lodges are important places for magicians to band together and protect their way of life. Even though they are not perfect, such lodges continue to serve as sources of living teachers to students of the occult. As the number of books on the market increases, beginners are getting bombarded with conflicting information. It takes years to sift through the rough of the diamonds, time better served in the practice of magic. Good teachers can provide that much needed experimental guidance that few books can provide. Still, books and magic are intertwined. The linguistic origin of magic is in the root word magus, which means wise one and stems from the ancient Persian language. It shouldn't come as a surprise, then, that magicians love their books. No shit. I was reading this and I was reading out to my wife, and she just put down and she looked at me and she said, if I had only known what to expect. Hey, we're all these, I wouldn't say book junkies. We're knowledge seekers. We have an insatiable thirst for knowledge. Not bullshit. We want the knowledge. But then again, I guess, you have to have some manure in order for the garden to grow an abundant harvest. Wow, that was profound, sir. Indeed it was. It shouldn't come as a surprise that the magicians love their books. In actuality, books have been the primary means of preserving our heritage over the centuries. There are still few or no alternative sources of media that serve the needs of magicians. Books and now the web will continue to hold that special place for the foreseeable future. Books like this one can't make you a magician, but they can provide the tools with which you can become one. Possibly you already are a magician. And when you picked up this book, you were just searching for new information. That's fine too. This book is designed to serve as a magical reference as well as a primer. Throughout the book, we will be presenting our craft from the perspective of a newcomer to magic. So if you are experienced, keep this in mind. Another difference between this book and others of like nature is that we present a grassroots approach to our craft. Even though the ancient techniques we are presenting have been slightly modified for modern Western sensibilities, they retain their original spirit and efficacy. Our practices had to adapt to our environment, but that doesn't mean that we abandon the ancient methods altogether. Magic has a living, organic tradition, but it is a tradition. The first step in becoming a magician is not to memorize rituals or learn spells, but to develop a new way of thinking. The practice of Tai Chi, without the belief in Chi, would only take you so far, if far at all. Modern magicians don't all believe the same thing, of course. There are those that believe in high versus low magic, and there are those that divide magic into white, gray, and black. There are those also who view magic through the lens of the Jungarian psychology and mentalism and argue that 90% of magic is psychology. We respect these views, even if we do not always agree with everything they purport. However, in this book, we focus on the grassroots or traditional view. We do so not because we are stuck in dogma or to push a tradition for the sake of tradition, but because after many years of searching through various occult streams, we have come to believe that these methods work the best and have worked for many people for hundreds of years. We want you to get results and have the best experience possible. Over the years, we have talked to a multitude of people who were impressed or shocked by our magical experiences. They wondered if it was possible or if such things still happen today. It isn't that we are exceptionally powerful magicians. To be honest, we don't measure our magical development with a power meter. We look at two elements only. How much light are we bringing into our lives and others, and how much love is generated from the work that we do. To our minds, magical experiences are due to our practicing magic as it was practiced by our ancient ancestors of long ago. They must have been doing something right, since they became the inspiration of legends and stories for centuries. Don't get us wrong. We are not claiming supernatural powers or superhuman psychic ability, but we have seen enough that physical manifestations that others would consider as supernatural do not shock us in the least when they happen. The more bizarre magical claims of ancient magicians, including transformation, teleportation, levitation, and invisibility, were neither a product of the magician's own power nor a blind to mislead an unwary. Magicians believe in the existence of a race of beings that was both invisible and semi-physical, a magical race older than humanity. It has been known to every culture by different names: elves, shadi, jinn, ancient ones, and so on. By virtue of their spiritual work, magicians came into contact with these beings and enlisted their aid. For example, the jinn would lift up the magicians. Since they were invisible to most people, it became easy to think that their act of levitation was due to the power of the magician. Magical rituals enlisting the aid of these magical beings were only a minor component of the magical path. Magical practice is primarily a tool to open the doors of the divine mysteries. Traditional magic focused on spirituality and spirits. The spirits described by ancient magicians were as objectively real to them as the sun and moon. The forces that magicians worked with were called the Rahai by Arab magicians, the Numa of the Greeks, and the Purana by the Hindi. They are spiritual emanations or powers embodied in all living things in nature, activated by the divine spirit. Working with these Ruha changes not only the magician's life, but also her personality and worldview. It amounts to a feeling of connection, which the cosmos that is sadly lacking in our world today. The ancient magicians viewed the power of the mind and imagination as the medium, not the source. The divine spirit influences the soul influences the mind influences the physical form. By acknowledging the role of the divine spirit and then becoming a living conduit for it, magic becomes a liberating process with limitless potential. Magic views the cosmos as a living entity, interconnected on all levels: physical, mental, and spiritual. It conceives of everything as having a ruhana that connects it to the one divine source. That is stated beautifully in the emerald tablets of the Hermes. That which is above is from that which is below, and that which is below is from that which is above, working the miracles of one as all things were from one. So I guess I could go on. I know we were going. I'll just finish this one page. As with all other branches of human knowledge, Magick also attempts to address the most basic needs of humanity. Our most reoccurring need seems to be that of change and the power to control it. We want to improve our lives or have the ability to change our situation when and how we wish. That is why magical literature is filled with techniques to change one's material status, marital status, health status, and so on. The ancient spells call on angels and other spiritual beings by the ancient and powerful holy names to do the bidding of the magician. The archetype of the magician is thus born, standing tall in her attire, holding a wand of power, summoning the denizens of the invisible. She isn't calling on these beings by her own authority, but by the authority of the divine. The divine is the source of all magical causations, directly and indirectly. The magician strives to build a reality that is in harmony with the essential reality of oneness and spiritual balance. In restructuring their internal cosmos upon a strong foundation, magicians embody the highest level of wisdom. Once having becoming a living agent of the divine, transformed by the light, the magician has the authority to call on special forces of the cosmos to aid her. Really powerful magic happens when your will and the divine will are the same and act together in unison. Wow. Okay. Wow. Powerful stuff, Scotty. So, love of this book. I got to tell you, Golden Dawn, many different other modalities in the craft. This one here, there is just an identification. It's easy to grasp. It doesn't sugarcoat anything. And if you really want results in your life, then this is the path. And I think we all know about paths. We're all on one. I was on one for 50 years. But I just got to tell you, I found out that I could have looked at it as a loss, but it wasn't a loss at all. It was a gain. It was a slow initiation. And I'm grateful for it. I tell people this all the time. I learned more magic in Christianity than I learned anywhere else. And it's just a matter of perspective. Imagine a difference of what you see and what I see. So, all right, shall we continue on for at least the next 15 minutes or so, because this is all connected. So I did this exercise, printed it out, and let me get this one ready, committed to it and said, okay, so I'm going to sleep. And as I become into this lucid state, it's just black, it's dark. And it was strange because as I'm peering into this darkness, this eye opens up. It's just an eye. Now, I know that was influenced by what I have been reading and consuming into my spirit. But it was almost funny. I don't know if that's the right, but that's what it was. I mean, I knew I was standing at this eye, And I'm just looking, it didn't blink, it didn't do anything. It was like a real human eye. And so I just said, well, I just speak favor upon you. Thanks. Next thing I know, waking up, it's strange. So, well, Linda Brooks, I'll just repeat this because I don't know what's going on in the conversation. I'm going to get to the material, but she says, I say this because I love any of you from our group to attend, would love to have any of you attend either physically or doing a video conferencing. It would be wonderful to have you guys' knowledge to help enlighten the group and guests. I'm all for that. I think that's a great idea, Linda. There's many of us who are more advanced in a particular modality than others. And then there are these cases where you can just bring out new literature and look at it and go, wow. Because the thing is, here I am getting off on a tangent on it, but it's true. The only reason why I went to religion is because I wanted to experience the miraculous. I don't want to hear someone preaching at me. I want to be able to experience this God that you're talking about. I want to physically experience it. I want to experience it through the essence of my whole being. But that's not what happens. It becomes rote, becomes into a ritual, a tradition, and it becomes cold. It's lifeless. There's no life in it. And you're going, but wait a minute. How can I serve a God that is supposedly of the supernatural realm, the ether realm, if it can't be experienced in this physical realm? And I believe that that is what's happened with the collapse of religion, is why magic is coming back. It's why the study of magic. And there are a lot of hucksters out there. There's a lot of them that are con men and women that just want your money. That's bullshit. But I also respect if someone writes something, it's worth buying the book if you like it. It's a way of being able to supporting on that. But my point is that just because something may be given free, it doesn't mean it doesn't come with a cost. I have found in life, everything comes with a cost. Everything. There's no free rides. The bill always comes due. So there we go. Woo! There we go. Empty traditions of men. Boy, Ruth Ann, you are absolutely spot on. All right. I love these. These are intense classes. So as you see, getting back again to the larynx, and I read a comment someone posted yesterday, was so true. In order for God to have spoken, he would have had, or she would have had to have a larynx. You can't talk without them, unless there's another organ that our species hasn't found out about. And I'm becoming more and more aware when I speak, because if you, for instance, have a cursive word, a curse word, something that's, more what we would call guttural, and that's what it is. It's profane. But if you have the words of expression of life and light, they are spirit words. So lay down, relax, throat friction plus awareness of the larynx. 2, throat friction plus awareness between the eyebrows. And it does, mine just tingles. It feels like, you want to, it's just this little tingling thing. Same as 2, number 3, plus palms of the hand in front of the third eye. Remember, throat friction, looking for vibration, tingling, pressure, density between the eyebrows, connecting the throat friction with vibration between the eyebrows, motionless, connecting the energy around you. Now, in chapter 10, you will find a summary of the most common experiences encountered when starting to work on the third eye according to the principles and techniques developed in this book. As far as the first opening is concerned, the only things that matter are the vibration, the tingling, or the density between the eyebrows and the light, if you happen to perceive it. The best attitude is to pay no attention to any other manifestations that may occur while implementing the practice, like thought forms. When dealing with the third eye and with etheric energy, especially in the beginning, minor manifestations may take place, such as tingling or even twitching here and there in the body, or images flashing back to your consciousness. Let them come and let them go, for they do not mean much. Just follow the technique as if nothing was happening. That's a discipline in itself, isn't it? It may be that the vibration, tingling, density, or light you will feel between the eyebrows will be quite intense, but it really does not matter if they happen to be faint or blurry. As we will see later, the intensity of the energy can vary greatly from one day to the next from the same person. So it may just be that you have attempted the first opening on a low intensity day. However faint these qualities may be, they are a first thread, and a systematic technology will be gradually introduced in the book to transform them into a clear perception of the third eye. And then he gives the references: vibration equals the etheric life force, colors equal light of the astral, purple light of the astral space. Purple seems to be a color that appears. I don't know. As you practice the various techniques working on the third eye, you will encounter mainly three types of experiences between the eyebrows: vibration, colors, and light. Purple light. Roughly speaking, the first one indicates an activation of the etheric layer. The second indicates the astral, while the perception of the purple light indicates that a connection has been made with the astral space. The terms etheric and astral will be developed further on in the book. Of course, these indications are far too simplified to be completely exact, but from an experimental point of view, they provide helpful references to allow you to find your way in the beginning. Vibration, tingling, and a feeling of pressure, weight, or density all have the same significance when felt between the eyebrows. They indicate that something is being activated in the etheric part of your third eye. The etheric body is the layer of life force equivalent to the prana of the Indian tradition and the chi of the traditional Chinese medicine. The third eye is not a physical organ. It is predominantly etheric and astral. The vibration or any of its equivalents, such as tingling, pulsing, pressure, density, etc., is the sensation by which the etheric is perceived. Whenever you feel it somewhere in your body, it indicates that the etheric layer is activated in this area. So the perception of the vibration between the eyebrows is nothing other than a perception of the etheric part of the third eye. Since tingling, pressure, density, or weight have more or less the same significance, to simplify, I shall refer to all of them by the word vibration. Therefore, whenever you read vibration in this book, it refers to any or all of these different forms. For instance, build up the vibration between the eyebrows means build up the modality that is most natural to you: vibration, pressure, density, or the equivalent. Anyway, after some time, the vibration will be perceived as all of these simultaneously. There are different levels of vibration, just as there are different levels of etheric energy, some more subtle than others. The intensity of the vibration may vary from one day to the next. Apart from quantitative variations, it is also the quality of the vibration that tends to vary naturally from one day to another. Consequently, it is important not to cling to any modality, but to flow with what comes each day. After some time, the experience will become more stable and the energy movements will be more under your control. The second type of experience can take place between the eyebrows is that of a non-physical lights of various sorts, from a vague haze, a cloud, a glow, like that. It's almost like a electric kind of glow, to colors and organized patterns. These various manifestations can be regarded as equivalent and indicate that something is being activated in the astral part of your third eye. To simplify, well, I will refer to all of them by the term light. So each time you read light in this book, it means all or any of these: haze, colors, light patterns, shining dots, or anything that glows. Choose the one that comes most naturally to you and let it be gradually refined into a more and more brilliant light. The astral body is the layer of mental consciousness and emotions. The equation, non-physical light equals astral, is not absolute, for certain high frequencies of light come from far above the astral layer. But as you will quickly learn to recognize, the lights and colors that commonly appear between the eyebrows when you switch on your eyes are a clear indicator that the astral part of the third eye is being activated. Finally, 3, the purple light is often perceived as the background of other lights or color patterns. I'm shaking my head because that's exactly, yeah. It gives the feeling of an expanse or of a space that extends in front of your third eye. The deeper you contact the purple light, the more you perceive it as a space that is not only in front of you, but all around you. This space corresponds to what esoterics call the astral space. The space of consciousness is not always perceived as purple, but also as dark blue or even black. What matters most is the feeling of space, whatever the color or darkness perceived. I will therefore use the word space for the dark expanse at the background of the third eye. Regardless of its color, note that the perception of the purple space is quite simple and that many people have experienced it, in particularly during childhood, without realizing its nature. All right, I'm going to cut it off there. Got a show tonight, Hey, Karen, how are you doing? I was thinking you of the other day in my meditation, surrounding you with a lot of power, of strength, and just good vibes. So, wow, this has been a real learning day. We learned some gnosis today. Hey, Karen, how you been, hon? Is it still cold up there? I bet it is, isn't it? We're gonna get you back on again. So, thank you, Nina. Everyone have a great Thursday. Embrace it, indeed. Much love to you, Karen. I tell you, the most generous woman there. We got so many generous people, and I tell you, Karen is at the top of the list. She has sent crystals all around the world and back around again. Hey, folks, this is not playtime anymore. You are in the accelerated class. We are in Calculus 101. We for years have been studying so much esoteric knowledge, gnosis. And now we're going to start really putting it into action. And I'm serious about if there are local, again, covens, groups, assemblies, let me know. Love to know, particularly around here in the Denver area as well. Okay, Karen, we'll get you on. Yeah. Show the new website. Sounds like a good deal. Okay. Hon, I just only respond to what the vibration is. That's all, Karen. Oh, yeah, the birth certificate. Well, Yeah, that will be for another time. We'll get into that though. I mean, we're still reading legal and lawful. We haven't left anything. It's like a buffet. I mean, if you go to a buffet, do all you get is potatoes? No. You want a little bit of this, a little bit of that. That's what we do here. It keeps it fun. Nina is a solo practitioner here looking for local peeps. So she lives in the Vancouver, is it British Columbia? I think. I know that Julianne down in Australia, I know that you have, I've seen them, your local group. We need to get connected in these local groups. Then when Big Al and Perry drive through, they'll have a place that they can come and recharge. That's the way but Chancellor, seriously, I'm being serious, that it's so complicated. And that's what I was trying to say. Well, thank you, Linda. This was a freaking fabulous show. I'm just telling you. So tune in tonight to the Steiger perspective. We know we're being conned, man. Woman. Okay. Farkless says, I'm far in Kentucky. Well, I happen to know that there probably are places in Kentucky. We got to get together. I have a feeling that if we start getting together and integrate with our local area, we're going to come back to the Soul Tribe and we're going to really amplify and contribute your local experience into everybody's else. Hey, Deborah Truax, much love to you, dear. Al, good to see you, hon. Well, AK, you can stay here with us. That's how we'll do it. Folks, thank you again. Much love to all of you. This is a tribe of love. There is such compassion here amongst all of us. Gaia, much love to you, dear, and Paul. Marie, same to you, darling. Jules as well. Martin and Heidi, and David. Boy, so many of you. Grandpa Brian, good to see you as well. Project Skyfall. So, hey, see you tonight. Then I'll see you tomorrow. We'll get more into this. This has been a great week. So tomorrow's musings will no doubt be a lot of fun. Hey, Dar Smile, good to see you as well. So much love. Hey, Shannon, good to see you. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you, dear. Y'all are the best. Y'all are the best. Okay. I'm out of here. So I'll see you later. All right. Much love. Bye-bye.